Generate by AI.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another Friday night of Let's Talk Benchrest with Kentucky Rimfire and Hobbies. This is episode number 53. So tonight we're going to talk about some interesting topics. This is going to cover a lot of things that we've covered in the past, things that we do to make improvements, things that we look for, but I thought it'd be a good idea to talk about when purchasing a used firearm. What are some things that we look at before we make that purchase? What kind of research is to be done before we make that purchase? And then after we make that purchase, what the steps we go through with that rifle? Do we shoot it and give up on it, or do we? What are the steps that we take to get this rifle where we want it? And this is also going to involve some discussion about restorations. Like some of us have refinished some stocks, some of us have rebarreled, some's recrowned, some's rechambered, some's lat barrels. I just want to talk about all that tonight. What are some things that we've done as a group that has, and did it help? You know, did you waste your time, or did it make an improvement? So that's where we're at, and we got a back room full of awesome folks. Actually got one back tonight that's not been with us in a while, and I'm glad to have him back. So let's go ahead and bring these guys out and get them introduced tonight and find out how their week's been. So up first, we got Jose from J Delta 22 NC.
Good evening. Thank you for having me tonight. My week has been good. Was at the back at Coleman's Creek shooting a 265-yard target. We did much better today that the wind was calm.
It was windy here today too. It was a pretty day, but it was like 10, 15 mile an hour winds this evening. So I did not go to the range for multiple reasons. I've been a little bit under the weather this week, and sinuses and allergies, and I'm still snotting and coughing, and it just I'm gonna get there, I promise. But it's been going on for about a week now. It seems like of the mornings when I wake up, that's when I'm the worst. Can't have a hard time getting stuff moving. So, but anyways, up next we got Justin from Kentucky Rimfire.
Howdy, guys. Glad to be with you tonight. Had a pretty good week this week. Looking forward to doing some shooting tomorrow. Going to a match tomorrow.
Yep, me and Justin are going to take off tomorrow and go to a new territory, somewhere we've never shot before, but they're shooting ABRA tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and we're going to drive down and see what we can do in a little ABRA shoot.
We're going to go try not to suck.
Try not to suck.
Now, you'll never do that.
If we suck, if we suck, we'll embrace it. How about that?
We'll blame it on the weather.
Yeah.
All right. Well, up next we got Steve from living in the southwestern part of Virginia.
Hello, everybody. Good to see all you guys, and good to see everybody there on the side chat.
I got Steve on there tonight because him and his brother are the champions at buying used guns.
More John, I'm the runner-up. We went shooting today, hit the range, and there was nobody else there all day long. And I think it's because the wind blew them all away. But still, we had a good time and got some shooting in, so it was a really good day.
Yep. Glad you're here. And
glad to be
anything new this week?
No, nothing new. That one I dropped a short on today at Remington 513T that John bought. He bought it, I don't know, a month ago, 6 weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah, That's a good looking rifle.
Not bad.
Yep, nice rifle.
Shoots good too.
All right. Well, up next we got Hasbro from an undisclosed location. He's traveling, but he's with us. So, how you doing, Hasbro?
Hey guys, doing good. Extremely tired, but
Need it.
we're on the way to get ready for our grandbaby number 3. So
All right.
That's exciting.
I got to drop the wife off and then drive back down again when she has the babies. Not my wife, my daughter.
Tell her to hurry up and have that baby because you got shoots to go to.
Yeah, that's true. That's priority.
Well, glad you could be here with us tonight, man. And,
Thank you.
be praying for you during your travels. But up next, we got Rimfire Dave over. He's already shopping on his phone tonight. I seen you.
Hi, everybody. Good to be here. Good to
Dave.
see y'all. And I'm up here with Punxsutawney Phil, groundhog, and it's staying in the hole. It rains
Yeah.
every day, and it's still cold, so I'm not doing much shooting at all. Matter of fact, I'm not shooting hardly anything but being the groundhog. But it's good to see you all.
He's telling the truth about being in a hole. He went and got a Wi-Fi extender so he could stay in the basement. I think his wife kicked him out of the house.
No, she likes me.
Oh yeah, I've seen how she spoils you. You're
Dave's a spoiled man.
You are spoiled for sure. So,
Yep.
anyways, Hasbro says he can't really type much with his setups, but hey, y'all, he can't type because he's wore the keyboard out telling everybody how much of a winner he is.
No, every time I type, it does this. So
Well, now I've got to
all right,
say
well.
this. I'm not an instigator, but it seems strange that Hasbro won there last weekend, and you've been sick all week.
Yeah. Yeah.
hey, Steve, I couldn't hear you. What did you say again, Steve?
Is there a correlation?
Well, if it matters, the class that I shot against Hasbro in, I beat him. I wasn't in that class.
We just talked total score.
Yeah. Yeah. He got first in one class, but he was sixth in the other one. He's not telling that. Yeah. Well, up next we got George from Southern Rifle.
Well, you know when.
Howdy, buddy.
George.
George.
Not
So-
much going on this week. I mean, it's been, the last couple of 3 days been really nice, though.
I want to know
When?
why you didn't. I didn't know why you didn't go out there Monday and shoot.
I don't even remember Monday.
There was snow on
It
the
snowed.
Oh, hell, that's right. Yeah.
3 inches.
Ain't that freaking crazy, man?
Yeah.
2 inches of damn snow.
I was working in it, babe.
70 degrees one day, 2 inches of snow the next day.
Yeah, and then it went back up
Wow.
into the 60s. Crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Man, I tell you, that's some weird shit now.
Well, everybody, I said we had somebody back that ain't been here in a while. Y'all are probably wondering who it is, but we're going to go ahead and bring him out of the room because it's been a minute. I'm glad to have him back. But it's none other than Mike from MN Shooting Sports.
Hey.
Oh,
Welcome.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, did you accidentally boot him too, or what happened?
Did I what?
Accidentally boot him too?
No, I didn't ban him. He's had a busy work schedule, and the daylight savings time was throwing him off a little bit. I get it. I work outside for a living. When you get in out of that cold weather, you just want to eat and take a shower and go to bed. I get
Let's
it.
say, let's say like AOL do. Welcome. You
Yep.
got mail.
So,
Some beautiful rifles there, Mike. Those are pretty cool.
yeah, man, he's acquiring some very nice vintage rifles. He sure is.
Mm.
Hopefully, we get to
Yeah.
see those firsthand in April.
At
Might be a
52,
couple more coming pretty
awesome.
quick here, but we'll see how the next few days goes. There's a couple I'm eyeing and thinking about pouncing on, but and not all rimfires. There's some pretty unique old center fire stuff that I kind of want to add to my collection. But
Well, I think we're going to have a shoot. We're going to have a center fire shoot at our meetup. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, it's just been what you've seen in my videos. Sunday it was blizzard conditions here, and I had to shoot a daisy at 25 feet in the side of my yard here. If you didn't see that video, and I took tomorrow off because I pulled the Redfield off the Annie, and I'm gonna shoot the Supermatch 54 with iron sights for the first time since I've owned it. And I just don't know what I'm going to do because it's supposed to get up to 78 degrees and be sunny tomorrow here in Minnesota. So,
Jeez.
You'll have a heat stroke.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it's
Y'all
only
gonna
gonna
have-
it's
y'all
only
gonna
going to be
have
like
flash
50
flooding.
when I go tomorrow morning, but
You get the
Stay
70s
hydrated.
with all that snow and ice up there, you're going to have flash floods.
Yeah.
That's what's going to be.
Stay
well,
hydrated.
pretty quick here. My sump pump's going to start kicking in once the ground thaws down about 2 feet, and it ain't
Yep.
gonna stop. It ain't gonna stop running for for 6 weeks. So
Yeah,
Yep.
I got one in my house too when it rains here.
yeah,
Yep.
but
So,
glad to be back. Glad to see you all. I'll try to like Chad was saying, what messes with me is getting up and the sun doesn't come up for 2 hours, and then the sun's down before I leave work at night. And on a Friday night, I just don't want to do anything once. But with it staying light out till 7, 8 o'clock, it motivates me to stay awake a little bit longer instead of plumping down in front of the couch. So, or in front of the
You need to
TV.
hire some of them Somalians over there. I hear they're pretty good workers.
Yeah, I could probably lear me a thing or two, right?
Yeah.
we got Laser Guy Todd in the side chat. He's changed his name like 3 times. I think he's trying to keep up with Boomstick. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Laser
So-
Todd Mark III.
Yeah.
Boomstick, you got some competition out there.
Yeah, Boom. He's trying to catch up with you on the name changes, buddy. Well, let's get into our discussion tonight. So we'll just go around the room and so when you go shopping for a gun, and we don't have to be talking just about rimfire, it could be anything.
No way.
Do you want to just buy a gun that just absolutely shoots? You don't have to do anything to it, or do you look for something to tinker with, restore? When you go looking for a used gun, what are you looking for, or you just, or maybe you just got something on your bucket list that you want to knock off? So, Hasbro, you can go first.
Well, I tend to get bucket list items, but if I'm looking for something, I get a little picky and sometimes too picky. I want it in pretty good condition. I don't mind restoring a little bit, but so I sort of look at what I'm after. I'm generally not going to go walking in and just impulse buy, almost never. But then I look at condition, and primarily I start with metalwork because I can fix most things in the wood. But there's some things in the metal, and especially in the bore, I can't fix.
I think you're dumbing this down a little bit because your wife's in the background. You don't want her to know how much gun shopping you do.
Nope, gotta go.
That's what it is.
That's why you got the
Who's
headset.
winning now, Hasbro?
Yeah. So, how about you, Jose?
So you're trying to get something that shoots good, right? The best it can shoot, and then I tweak it a little bit, like put in a chassis on or something like that, trigger and things like that. So,
How about you, Dave?
I pretty much look for the same guns all the time. Rimfire 52s, 40Xs, BSAs, and Schultz's. I just stop and look for those particular rifles, and then I look them over, and I pretty much know the prices and what they're worth. And if I find one that was a good deal, I buy them. If not, I let somebody else have them.
Well, let's hear it from the professional used gun shopper. How about you,
That's
Steve?
right.
Yeah, this guy over here.
No,
Yeah.
that's the brother. I'm not as bad as he is quite. Uh, I don't mind buying a gun that needs a little work, as long as the bones are sound. Good bore, action, everything functional. I don't mind tweaking on it a little bit. I am one that does impulse buys. If I go in, I like vintage guns, and if I go in and something catches my eye, then I might likely buy it. But like I say, I don't mind working on one, but I want the price to reflect that. If it needs, if it needs work, it shouldn't be bringing a
Right,
premium price.
right. Justin?
Well, I guess you know that I like vintage rifles, so it ain't like you can go out and buy them new. So
Well,
if you're gonna buy one, it's most likely gonna be used. So you do your due diligence and look it over as good as you can. But unless you carry a bore scope with you in your pocket, you're
that's
not
right.
really you can't fully
Yeah.
inspect it.
Yeah.
I think me
But
and Justin have a competition to see who can have the most guns in layaway sometimes.
yeah. So some of the few things you can do is inspect the crown. See how that looks, and you can
You're
pull the
jumping
bolt out and hold it up to the light. Look through the bore
Hmm.
You're
to
jumping
see.
ahead.
Well, I mean, there's a few things you can do. When you're
Yeah.
buying one,
Um, George, what kind of rifles do you look for when you're used gun shopping?
The
You
old
like
stuff. I don't. I don't. I've been a dealer, FFL dealer since '97. I don't collect guns. When I buy a gun, it's usually to sell. And don't get me wrong, I like to have a good collection. I've had collections before, but to me, they're tools. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't need it. I shoot what I have, or try to shoot what I have. I don't collect guns. They're
yeah.
tools to me. They don't. I've got some that means things to me. As far as looking for a gun or something, I need to get a good 2013. Other than that, I'm really not looking for anything. I shoot what I got.
That one that you come up here in April and beat Hasbro with, it's going to be very sentimental.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I
That
think
gun there,
I think you can do it.
I bought that gun to sell. After I got it, I shot it, and the condition it's in, you just don't find them like that. So I just kept it.
Yep.
But for the most part, I just let them go.
So what about you,
Yeah,
Mike? When you go use gun shopping, you looking for something that's ready to run, or you like projects, or
I do not like projects. So I like I like something that looks like it should run the minute I get it. And I don't really buy guns except online, and I've been very fortunate that I haven't taken it in the shorts that way. But I do my due diligence. Like I will, when I see something and I put it in my watch list or something like that in an online auction, I look at that thing, 2, 3 times a day, scour over every picture and stuff like that, and take my time, zoom in and zoom out. And when I see something, I spend an hour on the internet researching it, to go back to it. And I've been fortunate because I've taken some things that people, or I've won some bids on stuff where people were scared of it because of maybe a little defect, and I walked away with the golden goose. So that's kind of what I do. I mean, and I was going to ask in the in the back room here. If anybody recently bought a Anschutz Match 54 with a 14 power inertial on it for $1,400 on Gunbroker, because
Can't say price, man.
oh, yep, sorry. There was one that I let it lapse like 3 times and nobody was bidding on it. And
Mhm.
I wanted to buy it
I've done that.
because of the scope, and it had a 1407 U9 trigger in it
Mm.
that you could tell by the pictures. So that's what I look at. I'm like, that trigger, I could pull the trigger out and I could sell that for $350 all day long. You know,
Yes,
Mhm.
I do the same thing. I look for little things like that.
yeah. So that's what I do, and that's how I've been fortunate to get the couple of ones that I've gotten that are kind of special in my collection, and I've never overpaid for any of them. So
You've done well. I know that. Got some nice ones.
So I'm gonna 3 of these questions we're gonna compile together here. Just this is pre-purchase before you purchase a firearm. What are things you look for? And we've already touched on some of this. What are things you look for before you purchase, and how? Do you impulse buy or do you do research? Sometimes research can bite you in the butt, because by the time you got your research finished, what you were looking at's gone. So and have you ever bought a lemon before? Have you bought something that just would not shoot? And um, so we'll just go back around the room, and Hasbro, you can touch base on that.
Now I'm gonna have to. I have to beg your pardon. I was being distracted. What was your question again?
So,
Sorry.
what are things you look for pre-purchase, and how do you look like inspecting the bore? How do you go about doing that? What are things you look at? Are you an impulse buyer, or do you like to research? And then, have you ever ended up with a purchase that was just a lemon that just wouldn't shoot?
Yeah. I'm like Mike when it comes to online stuff. I'll look over them a million times, and even during the auction before I even place a bid, it's like I'm just kind of weighing it and judging it and figuring out. There was some, like I say, you took a scope off, or you could sell it for more than the gun you paid for it, and there's things like that help you make that decision. But I look them over a ton and then do a lot of research. That's the great thing about the age we're in now. You can get a lot of videos, a lot of internet searches, and get a lot of information before you pull that trigger, literally. And so I do that. But in person, I look them over, especially metal condition. But unless I do actually have a portable bore scope, but I've never taken it to a shop yet. But if I was going to bid on some of them that I've collected through auctions, I probably would, because you're talking quite a bit more money. And if they wouldn't let me look down the bore, well, then maybe I won't do that deal. I did get burned on a Howa 1500 that I still have, and I have to rebarrel it. And I'm going to do it, but I wanted a good platform or 223 bolt action to shoot. And I held it up, looked to the light, and said, "Hey, it looks shiny, right?" Yeah, no, you can't tell squat by looking at it that way. I got home, put a bore scope through it, and pitted as can be. So yeah, I got burned doing that.
Jose.
All right. So things I look for, I review things. I looked at it 100 times before I decide to do whatever I'm going to do. Um, I haven't acquired many used rifles. Most of those are being centerfire. Um, I don't buy on impulse. I don't. I research. I might. It might be something that catches my eye. Looks or whatever. But I do some research again. I go back and do some research before. So by the time I'm ready to drop some coconuts on it, I did as much as I could. And I have been fortunate. No, I have not gotten a lemon so far.
Dave.
Yes, sir. Uh, Center fires. I always ask for a round count, and if most of the times a guy goes, I don't know, then I avoid it. A center fire, they need to be taken care of, or you'll get a bad barrel almost every time. Guys don't sell good shooters, not in a center fire.
Right.
As for a rim fire, you can get a lot of rounds through a rim fire on the inside, and you can't see that before they go bad. And I don't think I've ever got a bad rim fire, maybe one, and I gave it to a friend of mine, and he looked in the barrel and said, "That barrel's all pitted." And but it was a deal I made, and I got it really, really cheap. But I bought a lot of lemons. Believe me, I could fill a basket full of lemons. So over the years, though, I've learned what to look for, and that's mostly the outside condition is obvious. You know, you could look it over. I don't buy too many online. I usually want to see them. So it's a chance you take when you buy them online. I mean, you look at them and look at them and look at them, but you know, if I'm selling a gun and it's got a blemish, I'm not going to show it to you. It's on the other side where you can't see it. So
Right.
I just don't do that. I try to look at them face to face, but I have bought some online that I wanted. But be careful when you buy a center fire.
Helping Man says he researches quickly as possible, checks him over, and then figures out how to sneak him into the safe before his wife gets back from shopping.
Yeah.
Hillbilly says, I only buy shiny and it looks good. Got to be styled. May not shoot good, but it sure does look good, he says.
Just so it's gold, Hillbilly's happy.
That's half the battle right there.
Yeah. So, Steve.
Well, these guys have touched on a lot of what I do. You know, if I like I say, I do impulse buy, but if I walk into a shop and I see something that catches my eye, you know, I'll pull my phone out and I'll do a little quick search, see what I can find out about it if it's something I'm not familiar with. Look down the board, you know, see what you can see. Check for the function, the action, everything, see if it seems like it's working right, and just look at the overall general condition. And like I say, if it needs a little something, I don't mind fiddling with it so long as the price reflects what it needs. And as far as lemons, I'm sorry, I did get a lemon, brand new rifle, my Savage Mark II F. That gun would not shoot. I tried everything in it. I tried Cinerex. I tried Tenex. It would not consistently hold groups. So they delivered it back to Savage today to see if we can get them to fix that problem.
Cool.
Hopefully get it back before April.
Hope so. The way it was shooting, it don't matter. It was not good.
Justin.
So I buy a lot, you know, of used guns at gun shops, and you know, I do my best to look them over. I've been into, you know, vintage rifles for quite a while, so you know, I've done my research, you know, years ago. Pretty well know what's going on. Every now and then, may see something I've not seen before, but got a lot of friends I can network with. You know, for something I have a question on, I'll take a picture and shoot it to somebody, and you know, pretty well get an answer back within minutes. You know, if I have a question, but you know, online gun buying, look at the seller and see how reputable they are, and if they have, you know, 1,000 transactions and an A+ rating, they're trying to keep that rating. They're not going to sell you a lemon knowingly, you know, and if they do, they'll try to make it right. So, you know, definitely look at their rating before you buy something on Gunbroker. They're going to try to hold that reputation. But luckily, I've had good luck on Gunbroker. I've got some really nice rifles. Like Dave says, you know, with the centerfire rifle, you know, it could be shot out. It could be copper fouled. You know, a lot of people don't have good cleaning techniques, you may just give it a deep clean and line it out. Same way with rimfires, But if you buy it with a price to where the action would cover the price, or maybe some of the accessories on it, then
Yep.
that's a good buy. Try to negotiate to where that would factor in if you could rebarrel it, or put a new trigger in or whatever. So that's kind of the things I take in consideration.
Justin did put a 35 Remington in layaway one time, sight unseen.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple times.
Yeah. I knew Justin was looking for a 35 Remington, and I came across one.
We can't talk about that, Chad.
Huh?
We can't talk about that.
What?
His wife don't know.
Oh. Yo. She knows what all you carry in that house.
Yeah.
Anyways.
George.
Yeah. Well, it depends. If you're buying off a gun broker, make damn sure whatever buyer you're buying from, you read his rules of the sale.
Yep.
There's a lot of shit to trip you up right there, brother.
Yep. Especially
make sure you read everything, because they'll hook you like as far as shipping goes and stuff like that. Man, you ask the seller questions, and go through the gun broker channel. Go through gun broker when you ask those questions. That way they have a record of it. Don't do it on a regular email. Do that all the auction sites as far as that goes. Make sure you read everything. As far as center fires go, it depends on the caliber. Like if you're looking for a 220 Swift or a 22 250, your chances of getting one that the barrel ain't burned out on is pretty damn slim.
Yeah.
So you need to look at those in person. And most people on these auction sites, they ain't going to go bore scope them for you, or they don't know the round count. If you're buying off, say like Accurate Shooter or somewhere like that, I bought a ton of guns on there, sold a lot of guns on there. You ask them to take a picture of centerfire, take a picture of the bolt face and the rear of the bolt lugs. If the bolt face is pitted up where they've blowed primers and stuff, the gun's been mistreated. And if the bolt faces eat up, usually the lugs on the back, they haven't greased them or nothing else. And it's a crapshoot, boys. You got to ask questions and have them take pictures if you can.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as rim fires go, dude, if there's your chances of getting a good rim fire, in my opinion, I'm talking about custom rifles, okay, not factory guns or anything. Like factory guns are a crapshoot, period. I don't care whether it's an Anschultz or Savage, it's a crapshoot. But in center fires, that's what to look for. But on the rimfire deal, good rifles, like good custom rifles, when they come up for sale, be wary of that. Because the guys they shoot competition with, if it's a good rifle, one of those guys are going to buy it.
Yeah.
If you said it's like somebody saying it's a championship rifle, la 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 la. Well, you need more information than that, because if it's a good winning championship ARA rifle, one of the guys that shoots ARA is going to buy that rifle. See what I'm saying?
Look at the pedigree on the rifle.
Yeah, you gotta ask questions when you're spending that kind of money on stuff.
Well, the only really top custom ones I've seen and had in my hands, one was named Big Red. Dave wouldn't sell it. The rest were Chad, and Chad wouldn't sell them. So it's like I can't say I've ever bought one. So,
well, I can say this: my Gene Davis, when I was looking at it, I called a man that knew about it, and he said, "If you don't buy it, I'm coming to get it." So I knew right then what it was.
Yep.
Well, that's one thing when you get when you get like a Davies or a Penrod or a Calfee or something like that, you know your chances are pretty good, and the resale value on them is going to be really good.
Yes.
And my Calfee rifle, my FFL didn't know what it was when he sold it to me, and he's begged me to sell it back to him, and that's not going to happen.
Well, I kind of wondered how you come across that gun the way you did.
He had no idea what he had.
I'm kind of interested. How did he end up with it?
Somebody got out of shooting.
He bought it off of one of the locals there that had it. They brought it in and traded it in, and he bought it. And then he's like, "Hey, I got a Winchester 52 you might be interested in." And he named his price, and I was like, "I'll take it." And I got home and I looked and it said Calfee on the barrel, and I called him back and I said, "Did you know this was a Bill Calfee build?" And he said, "No, I did not." And I was like, "Oh, well, cool." So now every time I see him, he's like, "You gonna sell me that Calfee rifle back?" No.
Dude, Calfee rifles, just in general, bring stupid money.
Yeah. So, Mike, what are things you look for before you purchase? And do you buy on impulse or you research? And have you bought a lemon before? And I'll let you lead into the next question. You can finish it up with, what is your most prized used gun find? And do you still have it?
So, because I kind of jumped ahead on the last part there. The lemon, I've only ever bought one true lemon as far as a used gun, and I didn't buy it online. I bought it at the gun stop here where I get my reloading supplies, and I bought a handful of old vintage rifles from. And it wasn't a vintage rifle; it was a Savage Mark II, whatever the F something or the BTV SS, the thumb hole stock stainless steel bull barrel in 17 HMR, because it had a really good price, and I was like, man, I want a 17 HMR, and that was years ago, and I couldn't get that thing to shoot no matter what I did to it. I put every possible 17 HMR round through it. I spent tons of money on ammo. I took it out, played with the action screws, and just I gave up on it, and I sold it to somebody that didn't know better on Gunbroker. So
So if I don't shoot, sell them.
Yep, and that's what I did with it. And then I said I'll never buy another a 17 HMR. As far as the online auctions and stuff go, like I said, I already kind of hit this, but something with caveat off what some other folks said I'd like to mention is that other things, if you're going to use like the auction sites like Gunbroker, that I look at is, you got to pay attention to the description, all the things that everybody else already said, but does the person who's describing it really know what they're describing? Because I found times where people don't know, just like your FFL, they don't know what they've got. And
a lot of them have a generic write-up. If you go look at their sales, they got pretty much the same thing written for every rifle they got for sale,
And then the other thing with the online that I found that works for me is I don't really buy from like I have, but depends on if they've got something, if it's a good price. I don't usually buy from like just the individual person, the Minnesota Mike out there in a different state that's selling something, even if they've got 200-300 A+ reviews and stuff like that. Most of the good finds I've gotten them out of auction houses that are doing estate sales, where they're just pushing it through. They don't care what they got. So you got someone passed away and the guy was a gun collector, and I'll look for that. Like when I see that if they even mention it came out of an estate or something, I'll look at what that seller or that auction house also has for it and look at the description. And when I see that the person or that description is being used kind of the same out of an estate sale from wherever, and I'm seeing there was some stuff recently, and I didn't bid on it because it had a little surface rust on it. There was a BSA, there was a Winchester 52, there was an Anch and all left-handed bolt action rifles, some really nice rifles. Nothing went for over $600. I just didn't want any of them. And it was because it was just an auction house that was just pushing it. They didn't care what they got. The family didn't know what they had, and the auction house didn't really care either. Or they're an auction house that just happens to have an FFL and nobody's putting in their due diligence. So that's just something, if anybody's buying from online auctions, it's something to maybe look at that could be helpful. I found it has been. And to lead into your next question, what I said was the seller not knowing what they had. Probably it's not my most prized rifle, but for like a used rifle that I've bought online like that, and I've gotten a good deal on, it's my Stevens Model 87M. It's serial number 054 of only 300 ever made, and I paid $285 for it 5 years ago because the seller had no idea what they had. You know, on Gunbroker. Oh, so
Yep. And that's Appalachian made a comment back there. It said there are custom guns that get sold that never had good ammo or a good shooter. And that was the story on the Gene Davis. So Mike Gross, he went and bought this rifle from Gene Davis for someone that was wanting to get into Benchrest shooting. And it changed hands 2 more times there at the Coal Tipple. And Mike told me, he's like, the guys that had the rifles just never put good ammo through it. You know, they didn't take the time to put good ammo through it. He said, that rifle will shoot. You know, he's like, if you're not going to buy it, let me know. I'll come down there and get it, you know. So
had a bunch of beginning shooters that shot that rifle too.
Yeah.
Dude, I got, well, he's dead now, but there was an old guy lived down here in Somerset, shot ARA with us all the time. He had some of the best rifles built that you could, Calfee rifles, and shot standard plus in them. He refused to buy good ammo for the damn things. So he shot just mediocre. You know, you got to have good ammo even if you have a good rifle. And he had money.
Captain Kirk says his CZ's a lemon. For some reason, it don't shoot bullseyes every time like Hasbro's.
Reason I threw this up here, I've said this before in some of my videos that I believe in chamber indicators, and I believe in when I recase something, I put snap caps in them and drop the firing pin on it. These aluminum snap caps, if you're buying a gun in person, a rimfire, you should have some of these in your truck, brand new, that you can drop the firing pin on one of these aluminum snap caps and know that it's going to dent and the rim and set off the priming compound, because some of these vintage rifles that I own, you might as well look for a brand new bolt if you break the firing pin, because it's you're not going to machine one, you're not going to get the existing bolt out. So if you spend a bunch of money on a rifle and the firing pin doesn't work and it's built into the bolt mechanism on some of these old vintage non-target rifles, it's never going to shoot. So
all right, Hasbro,
that's a very good point.
Your most prized used rifle find.
That's a tough one. Right now, it's going to have to go between the Winchester 52D after recrowning or the Anschutz 54. I got good deals on both of them, but probably right now it's going to be the 52D because it didn't show. I didn't show up well with it at the shoot, but it's just as ammo. I didn't have enough of the really good ammo. Both guns I was shooting shot both, and I couldn't shoot good ammo in both of them. But that gun is it's a pure pleasure to shoot. And so probably the 52D.
Jose.
My most prized used gun, I guess, is Coco Savage.
Oh, there's a tip.
Now it looks like...
As of now, well, maybe in April it might change, but I don't know. I don't know.
There's a turncoat.
Um, it might not because I went through all that change. Got to paint. Hasbro says pink, but it's purple. So I guess that's most priced one.
It's a bold man there with that color choice.
You know
How
it.
about you, Dave?
I would say I have a few I would never get rid of. It probably my Walnut Hill.
Yeah,
don't
those are
know.
nice.
I don't know. That's probably that, and I have a 52 that I'm attached to.
Well, I think I already know the answer to this question, but Steve, is it going to be the Ballard, or is it going to be that new 308 you got?
Now that is a balancing act. It's going to be the Ballard. That Parker Hale 308's a close second. I love that rifle. Shot it today. In fact, I threw a scope on it and tried it out and shot it out to 600, and it did real well. Honorable mention too to my Savage and Shoots I got from Mike. I love that rifle too.
Justin.
Probably my 52C is one of my best used gun purchases. Most of the guns in my collection are used guns. I very seldom buy a brand new gun. I'm just more interested in what was made, from like 1990 back. Some of this new stuff I just don't really care for. I like walnut and blued steel guns. There ain't many of them left in manufacture right now.
Brock says his 2500X would be his.
Yeah. His flame.
It's definitely put him on top of the charts.
Yep.
So, George.
My favorite one that I bought, I guess, be that Anshoot, the 54 with the set trigger. I mean, I love that. Love that rifle. It ain't. If anybody gets it, it'll be a Darwin. He's done.
There was at one time you was going to part with that, and then you shot it, and then you was like, "Oh, I'm keeping it."
Probably.
Yeah.
I'll tell you though, my favorite gun to shoot's the one I got off Dave. That Martini Mark III.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Mark III. I love shooting that rifle. I would rather shoot it than the 52, but the 52 the 54 will outshoot it. But I would rather shoot the Martini. I just love shooting it.
Rustic Rimfire says, "Word on the street, somebody got a Springfield 2020." Did you get another one? You're as bad as me.
That boy ain't right.
So, one of my Springfield 2020s is now at the gunsmith, and when it comes back, it's going to have a little barrel on it.
Whoa!
That's the kind of unfair I like.
Rustic's got
So,
Oh, dude, I was supposed to send you a trigger, wasn't I? Or was I?
yeah,
A 3-lever.
We'll get it in April, George.
you can bring it in April.
Okay. Yeah, don't let me forget it.
Well, Buck Creek, the 4th.
Guys, we need to call side chat out. We're about 50 minutes in, and we ain't even called our people out over in the side chat. So let's just type in used guns. Hasbro, you gonna be able to do that from the RV?
Man, we'll give it a whirl. All right, and they are flying by. So first up, of course, is Chad, and then we have me and J Delta, and Rustic. Let's see, Rustic Rimfire is there, but he hadn't typed it in yet. Steve, living Southwest Virginia. Kentucky Justin. We know that better as Mark Shooter. That man can shoot. Ronald Eastman, good to see you out there again. Mike's in the side chat and on the panel as well. Captain Kirk, good to see you out there. Rustic, there he is. Now we get accounting. Appalachian, he's out there. Daryl Gibbs, good to see you as well. Laser Guy, Todd. Boomstick, Mark 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever you are, but he's 6 tonight. Kirk the Frog is with us. Chips, Mohi 303. I'm glad you're out there too. Let's see who else we have. Helping Man 7, J Crow 530, Ron 2A Matters, Darwin Harris 6011, John Taylor, Jeff Leo 6, George in Kentucky, not Inky, in Kentucky, Gizmo Car, Cappy Case, let's see, Walt Tuttle's out there, and Hillbilly Up. Good to see everybody out there tonight.
Good deal. So, guys, we're 52 minutes in. So this next part, we're going to combine some of this, because if not, we're going to go way over an hour and a half. So I'm just going to go down. This is after you've purchased the gun. So what we've talked about up to this point is pre-purchase. So now, after you purchase the gun, we want to go through the steps. When you get it home, do you deep clean it? Stick a bore scope through it? Do you make sure it has potential before you start restoring it or doing upgrades or modifying it? Have you recrowned? If so, how did you do it? Did you use a kit or did you rely on a machinist? Have you rebarreled or rechambered it, a rifle? And was it successful? And what about bedding and free floating and pillar blocks? Did it help? Do you play with torque settings? Have you had experience lapping a barrel? What was your process and what was the results? And we'll start with Hasbro.
Yeah. So yeah, I have recrowned it with that Manson recrowning tool recently on that Winchester, and that was pretty successful. I was really kind of shocked because my intent was, I'll try it. Worst thing I'm going to do is send it off and get it recrowned professionally. This one worked. Will it always work? I don't know. This one worked. But yeah, when I get a gun like that, I always clean it. I deep clean the bore. I had light. You know, I would really work to get lead or the copper, the center fire around and get all that out. But I just do light work with JB bore paste and stuff like that until I met that character down there. And now I do heavy work with JB. It's like 3 or 4 hours of work. I'm getting pretty big arms now. Thanks, Dave. But I have done it, and he's right. It makes a big difference. And I did that on that 52 after recrowning it. Well, I'd done it a little before, but I really did it afterwards. And boy, it's something else. It really does help the guns. But do that. So I'll work on the bore. I generally don't take the bolts apart. I'll clean them real well, put a little light oil, and then I take some compressed air and blow the oil into them until I find out how they're acting. And if they're not acting well, then I take them apart. But everything's fine. I'm not going to take it apart for no reason. And that's just sort of me. And then, of course, I always look at triggers, and they're adjustable. I'll work on
them. Before we go any further, Hasbro, I have a crow to pick with you.
Oh,
I'm ready.
Well, that's new.
So, you know how you always talk about me buying stuff out from under you and beating you to it and all that?
Yeah, it's happened a lot.
Yeah, well, you know, I had a CZ gun barrel coming to me from Indiana, and just so happened you gave this person a ride, and that barrel never made it.
Well, it's in the back of my truck. You too could have this barrel.
Kevin told me today he gave you that barrel instead of me, and I said, "You wait till I get a hold of him."
Well, I'll trade you for your Sewell, or I'll trade you for your.
No, I don't need it that bad.
Oh, God.
All right, Jose, what about you?
All right, so I do a deep cleaning. 90% I remove action screws, take all that oil out. I always use a rod with clean it, put it back together. Um, it depends on what I buy and what I get. Most of the time, I go and test it first. I shoot it with different ammo, and then I start doing, the changing, just to put a better chassis to make me more comfortable. No, I have never recrowned a barrel. If I have to, I'll take it to one of you guys, Mr. Dave. I know he'll help me out. I'll take it to a real gunsmith. No, never betted an action before. I have rebarreled some CZs because it's very easy. 2 screws, you take them out, put them in. No bedding. I do make sure that my rifles are completely free floated. That's why most of the time I put them on a chassis. They come in a plastic stock. And I don't know if you covered this one or not, the torque settings. So I do play with the torque settings all the time.
Captain Kirk says, question for Rimfire Dave, if I may ask, do you know of any aftermarket triggers or a way to lower the pull on a Remington 510 Target Master? I ordered a trigger gauge, but guessing it's about 8 pounds.
Not much you can do there, buddy.
So, and Rusted Rimfire saying deep clean and bore scope, rechambered, new target, crown, and worked great on the Springfield 2020. You just start an argument over in the side chat. 2020 is a curse word around here. All right, Dave.
Well, now you could go.
I know
right
you
to the next
repowered
one.
one of them.
Yeah. So, I do a deep cleaning and I take the barrels off and the bolts apart and I do whatever it needs, And everybody knows that I try to help anybody out that needs, with their rifle. So, yes, I've done it all, I think. So.
Steve?
I get one, I'll clean it good, light lubrication, and then take it to the range and shoot it, see what it'll do. And then, depending on what I see, if it's something that needs a little work, or if I want to upgrade it, I'll go ahead and do that. Never bedded one before, never crowned one before. Rebarreling, I've rebarreled 1022s, which is, a monkey can do that. Did help John rebarrel a Marlin Glenfield rifle one time. That was fun. We did that. But like I say, most of mine is just clean it and shoot it and see what it does.
That's what to do.
And Chad does this, and he does this a lot. All of us do, but Chad especially. He'll take a rifle that doesn't shoot and just start with simple things, right?
Exactly.
And
yes.
you mentioned like free floating. I took a standard plastic stock, the cheapest 1022 you can get, took the barrel band off, free floated it, and cut the groups to 1/3 the size they were before that. It was amazing, the difference. It's the simple stuff sometimes, like you said.
Yep.
We ran into that today. John had bought a CZ MTR. It was used. And he shot it at home, and it shot pretty good. And we took it to the range today, and it would not shoot. The first round out of the 5-round magazine would go about 2 inches high, and then they would walk down into the target. Couldn't figure it out, tried different ammo, and it ended up it was the magazine. Switched to a 10-round polymer magazine, shot great, single-feeded, shoot great. But for some reason, the gun did not like that 5-round metal mag.
Probably hitting the bottom of the bolt, I guess, or something.
Maybe, but the same magazine will run in my MTR with no problem. It's
And guys, we've touched on this before. There's so many things that affects these rimfires. Even Dave has talked about it in the past. If it's not shooting, he'll change the scope on it. Why does he change the scope? Because every scope weighs different. Balance changes the balance point of the gun. It changes the harmonics of the barrel, and he'll try a different scope. And sometimes that will improve the accuracy. So when we say tinkering and playing around with these things, there's endless things that can be looked at to try to improve accuracy.
Could be something wrong with the scope causing inaccuracy,
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Scope, mounts.
Yep.
Yep.
Just
On eBay being sold to Minnesota Mike.
Justin.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of good rifles out there. Unfortunately, rifles outlive the owners of them. So, there are some circumstances where you run across a good one that still has life in it. But when I do get a used rifle, a lot of times I'll take it and shoot it and baseline it. See where you're at with it. Like Steve was saying there, and if you have vertical string or something, then that's normally a telltale sign of a bedding issue, or torque settings, whatever, or maybe free floating. But there's different little indicators with what's going on with the rifle, and it'll kind of give you some indication on what you need to do to solve the problem. But definitely take it and baseline it first before you go tinkering with it, and don't do too many changes at one time. Take it simple. Do one thing, shoot it. Do something else, shoot it. You'll end up doing something and not know what actually fixed it if you do too many things at one time. I'm not saying waste a lot of ammo, but take it slow and make sure what you're actually doing is helping. Before you go on to something else, and don't give up too quick. Don't. Sometimes it might be you. Let somebody else shoot it.
Yep.
Could be your setup. Could be your rest. Don't be quick to blame the gun.
George.
Well, first thing, clean them. I mean, everybody's already said it. I mean, that's the go-to, especially automatics. I don't know how many automatics I've bought in 22 rimfire that wouldn't shoot. People say, "Well, it hangs up. It's worthless." And all it is this: they haven't cleaned it.
Mm-hmm.
They fill them full of oil and expect them to shoot because they're oily, and that's the worst thing you can do to a damn automatic. Oil the damn thing.
Oil tracks dirt.
Yep. Especially 1022, or I don't know how many Model 60s I've bought that way that people thought were junk because they wouldn't shoot, and all it was that they just dirty.
Yeah, I bought a Model 60 one time. Guy said it wouldn't shoot, and I took it apart, and it was like somebody poured sand down in it.
Yeah. And I've seen there's some bad ones out there.
I took gun scrubber and cleaned it out, and cleaned it top to bottom, put it back together, and it run flawless.
I remember one of the first Model 60s I ever bought, and it wouldn't shoot two in a row. And this was back before the internet. And I didn't know how to take it apart or anything like that. But I managed to get it out of the stock, and seeing it was just caked. And I cleaned it up the best I could, and I thought about it a little bit. And I went and I just took the action, stuck right down in a big old pot of boiling water. And let that boiling water clean that action. And it did, and that thing worked slick as a gun. So.
Yeah. Hillbilly asked a question a while ago, said because he sleeps with his high point every night, does that mean he's bedding it? And Daryl Gibbs come back and said, he said you better be careful with the lube, Hillbilly. You might get a rash.
Yeah, but I want to see him explain this to Ames.
So, Mike,
So when I get something used new to me, I first thing I do is I run a dry patch down it. That's just an indicator for me because, like you said, when you can put your naked eye down it, you can think it looks clean, and it might be filthy inside. So, uh, and then I determine based off of that, am I gonna how many more patches, or if I'm gonna patch it anymore at all after that. And then I pull the bolt out. I look at the bolt face, and that's my indicator. Do I really need to clean this? Because maybe it's already clean, right? One area that I do always dig into because people fail to do it are the ejector cutouts. You know, you can always use like a dental tool or something and just dig all kinds of old lead fouling and stuff like that out of those most of the time, and old pieces of cotton swab. Um, but that's kind of what I do with the cleaning. Then after I've done that, I run a bore scope down it, and then I disassemble it because I like to look at the bottom side of the action and the barrel that's covered under the forearm just to make sure that there's no rust or corrosion that's starting under there, because if it's never left the wood stock, there's a good chance that there is some. Then I take care of that with some 4-aught steel wool, and then what I do is Johnson's old SC.
oh no, somebody took him off screen.
That was me. I clicked the wrong thing.
That's
we had
about
him back.
50 thing.
So if you
Oh,
can
I'm so
find this
sorry.
stuff around, this stuff is gold, and
There
it
we go.
literally is gold in the sense that like a full can of this, it goes for about $100 on eBay nowadays.
That's crazy, ain't it?
Yeah, it
Crazy.
is. And this is a full pound can that I just cracked recently. It was something that, again, with where I work, people cleaning out mom and dad's, it was in the basement for years and years and years, so I see it. Or the other thing I like to use is this Howard's beeswax. I find that this really cleans wood really good as well. But the other thing that I do with the Johnsons or that one, I cover all the metal surfaces in it because where I'm shooting in the winter and stuff like this is a great anti-corrosion on metal. So, and then I just go out and shoot it. As far as tweaking and changing stuff, if it's a Savage centerfire, I've got the wrenches and stuff. I can do pre-fit barrels and stuff like that. Outside of that, I don't tinker at all with my own stuff. I got to find someone else that can do it.
So I didn't answer any of these questions, and I kind of skipped over myself. But George is holding up something there.
Renaissance wax.
Renaissance wax.
Oh yeah,
Wax, yeah.
for reloading. Yeah.
Son, put it on everything, every metal surface. Some of the best stuff that you can buy. It's money well spent right there, son. Wish I could get that focus, but anyway, Renaissance wax.
As far as myself, I didn't answer any of the questions. A lemon, I don't think I've. There's Benchrest rifles and there's target rifles, and I got some that are capable of Benchrest shooting, and I got some that are just plinking rifles, and that's kind of the whole controversy with the Springfield 2020 thing. Is I bought that thing, started doing things to it to try to make it better because let's face it, everybody that's bought one of those, they shot like crap from the factory. But there are some things you can do to make it shoot a little better. Is it going to win a competition? No, but you can make it shoot. But as far as a lemon, I haven't, but my son bought a surplus rifle one time, and he was really excited about it, thought he got a good deal. He didn't know to check the bore. When he got home, the bore was so bad on it that I would not let him shoot it. And So I called this place a business, and I was like, "You sold my son this rifle as a functioning rifle. There's no way you can shoot this gun." And they said, "Bring it back, let us look at it. But the best we could do would be give him in-store credit." And I was like, "Well, I'd rather see him get something he can use than to have a shelf queen, because this is not usable. You can look at it yourself and tell that. You sold it as a working functional rifle, and it's not." So he took it back, and they inspected it, and they gave him in-store credit, and he ended up buying 3 firearms for what he had paid for that one. So he still got his money's worth. But it was a lesson learned. My son will not purchase a rifle now if he cannot examine the bore. But that's an example. I know y'all have heard me tell a story about the CZ455. I looked at it, thought about buying it. I passed, went back to get it. It was gone. Then it shows back up. I passed again, went back to get it. It was gone. Third time it comes back, I'm like, I'm going to get that. And then on the way home, it dawns on me, there's probably a reason why it keeps coming back. It won't shoot.
No boomerang.
And anyways, long story short, and I see this all the time, people buy Boyd stocks because they look good. They do look good, but they require work.
A bunch.
They're oversized.
To make them work with your rifle. You can't just take a Boyd stock and bolt your rifle in it and expect that gun to shoot. So that was the problem with this rifle, is it had a Boyd's thumb hole stock. It didn't have no pillars in it. It didn't have no bedding in it. The barrel was touching from the front to the back. And Justin made some pillar blocks. I put pillar blocks in it. After I put pillar blocks in it, I bedded it, got it free floated and bedded and pillar blocked. And the gun shot so good, Justin wanted to take it home with him. So now he's the proud owner of a CZ455. So
Wait a minute. You sold it to him.
yeah.
You got missed out again.
It's actually the only gun I've ever bought off Chad. So.
So that's a good example right there of getting something that looks good, but it may not be good. And if you're looking at something with a Boyd stock and it didn't come from the factory with a Boyd stock, then I would definitely look to see if it was fitted to the barreled action properly. Because if not, you got some work ahead of you. And so these guys pretty much touched on everything, deep clean, lapping barrel, crowning, changing barrels, all the above. I've had Justin recrown for me. I got one right now being rebarreled, which is a Springfield 2020, but that's just kind of that's me trying to continue to make a 2020 better. And I think I can. So Dean has a pretty good shooting 2020, and from what it sounds like, maybe he's got another one. And I actually have a 2020. You can see a little bit in the picture down there, that turquoise color right there. That is a 2020 that belongs to Kevin Hoffman. He brought it and left it with me last week, and I'm going to make some videos with it. But he had his 2020 rebarrel with a Winchester 52 barrel, and he left it here after the shoot last week. He said, I want you to spend some time with this, make some videos, and let me know what you think of it. So the weather's not been right for me to get out and do that, but I am going to spend some time with his 2020 and see what I think about it with the Winchester 52 barrel on it. He's probably the only man I've ever seen that come down here with a bunch of rifles that were rebarreled, but they were rebarreled with factory barrels. So he had a Springfield 2020 with the Winchester barrel on it, and he had a CZ 457 with a Sewell barrel on it. I don't get it, but I mean, if it works, it works, so.
I talked to him all the way home about those.
He said a lot of people change out barrels on these guns and set these factory barrels aside, and he said they ain't nothing wrong with them. They shoot, so he uses them. And
100%. Yeah.
yep. But anyways, last question. We'll run around the room here, and then we'll get everybody closing out and telling us what you got coming up. So there's the final question, and Chippo Outdoors asked it earlier. How far do you go before you give up? And if you do give up, what do you do with it? Do you keep it and shelf it, or do you pass it on and pawn it off on somebody else? I try not to get rid of a firearm myself to somebody that I know if I know it's not a good shooting rifle. And like I said in the beginning with the Springfield 2020, it'll always be my rifle. I'm not gonna pass that on to somebody else. I knew what it was when I got it, and I got it for content purposes, and it served me well for that purpose. I'm going to make one of those shoot. I have made one shoot, but I want one that don't have to have a mid-barrel tuner or a tuner. I want one that's just been rebarreled, recrowned, chambered, that'll shoot good. And I'm gonna make it happen. I'm bound to determine. But anyways, Hasbro, how far do you go before you give up? And what do you do if you do give up? Do you pawn it off on somebody, or do you just stick it aside and hold it and then give it to your buddy Chad later?
That's exactly my plan. I got a barrel for you, buddy, sitting in the back of my truck. No, it's like I'm kind of like you. I don't want to give away a problem unless the person knows it ahead of time. So just like Hillbilly's done to me, he gave me his BCA barrel, and then I got I actually got 5 hours of polishing work on it. Dave, you'd be proud of that one. Turned it to BCA until a very, very polished. I won't say what it is yet. We're going to find out together. But I have had occasion, like right when COVID hit, I wanted something to do because we were all stuck at home, and so I built a 6.5 Grendel, and the only barrel of anything I could get was a BCA Grendel barrel, and I proceeded to spend about $400 of my own time and ammo, realizing that barrel will never shoot. So what I did was deep cleaned it and did a raffle and gave it away. Okay, here's the targets. Here's what it'll shoot. If you're happy with that, you can have it. Right. So I gave it away. But if it's a problem, yeah, I don't pass it on to somebody else if I know it. Right. I try to fix it. And so far, I've been able to fix most of the issues. So.
Jose.
I go as far as I can with ammo, try different ammos and all that, torque settings, basic stuff. And if it doesn't come around, I won't pass it on. I just own it because I don't want somebody to go through the same thing like I did, So, yeah, I won't change barrels or anything like that if there's no potential on it.
So Captain Kirk says I'm making him self-conscious over his factory Boyd's at 1.457. So Captain Kirk, if it came from the factory with a Boyd stock, then 9 times out of 10 it's fitted correctly. The Savage, I know Walmart has a Savage that comes in a Boyd stock. I think it's green. That should be fitted properly. The CZ that comes in a Boyd stock, that should be fitted properly. It's when somebody goes and buys a Boyd stock on their own and just bolts that action in there, that's when it's not fitted properly. If they don't bed it or Pilar Block it or free float it, they just bolt it in there and tighten it down, that's where the problem is. You have a factory. I had a 457 at one that shot really good. They come from the factory. They're you don't have to worry about it. So I didn't mean to make you think you might have got a lemon. So although you can't hit the bullseye every time like Hasbro. So Dave.
Quality rifles, I spend the time and get them shooting. If I have to rebarrel them or crown them or whatever, but like a Marlin or 2020s or whatever, There's a guy in Kentucky. I knock off $100 when I pay for him, and he takes them. So I sold him several rifles. You know, he seems to be happy with it, and you know, you can't make out on every deal. So I take a little bit of loss, and he's happy. You know, so. But if it's a
I
quality
love
rifle,
I love
40X.
everything I've ever gotten from you, Dave.
Hey, Justin, that boy in Kentucky just ain't right in the head, is he?
Hell, I mean, I had a 2020 that just did not shoot, and I thought I'll never be able to sell this. Nobody will buy it when I show them the targets. But this guy in Kentucky said, "I'll take it." So I mean, I lost some money on it, but you know, it is what it is. And same with other rifles. I had a BSA once that it shot pretty good, but it was pitted. But this guy in Kentucky says, "I'll take it," and so it's gone. I don't have time to fool with rifles that I can't. I know from experience. There's no way without rebarreling it, and then they get to the point where you put more money in them than they're worth. So it's time to offload them, take your loss, and move on. And that's what I do. I buy and sell a lot of guns, so I take a lot of losses, and sometimes I do all right. But if you have a guy in Kentucky that helps you out, then you know your losses aren't as bad. But
all right, Steve.
Only one I've had that just really was a problem was that Savage Mark II. And like I say, I sent it back to Savage. But I worked with that rifle. I shot several hundred rounds through it and clean and shoot and clean and shoot and shoot really good ammo through it, and it just wouldn't shoot. So I sent it to Savage. We'll see if they give me something any better. And if not, I guess I'll determine then what I'm going to do with it.
There's a guy in Kentucky.
Sell it to the guy in Kentucky.
Well, I will say that you all have seen the video proof that the BSA, even though it might have had some pitting in the barrel, it shoots. And the only one that the 2020 I got for the purpose of rebarreling it, so we're good there. And then
the Marlin.
Dave gave me the Marlin, and it did have some pitting in it, and we tried to get it to shoot, but it wouldn't. But that was no big deal. We went on eBay and got us a factory barrel for it and put a factory barrel on it, and it's good now. So, and that gun's sentimental to me. So that was my first rifle, and Dave replaced it because mine got stolen, and that means a lot to me. So, all joking aside, Dave's never pawned nothing off on me that was not good. So
well, you know the story of it, you know.
We got a chuckle out of it.
Yeah. Justin.
Well, any used gun that I'm looking at, normally it's got an action that could be rebarreled, you know. And you know, I'm taking a chance on the barrel to shoot good. If it don't, you know, you're a barrel away from having a good rifle, you know.
Right, exactly.
So, you know, I normally don't pay war price for anything, so you know, I try to get into something to where if you know you did need to rebarrel it, you could come out okay, you know. So that's the best way to do it, you know.
It is.
So George.
I'm kind of like Justin right there. It's hard to explain, but I try not to advise anybody on what to buy. Buy whatever makes you happy. Don't let everybody tell you, not to buy something. But
This is a Savage or a 1020.
I don't buy stuff like that. When I buy something, I mean, I'm jaded as hell on everything. But when I buy something, like if I buy a centerfire or something, it's usually something I can rebarrel. And when I buy it, I try to buy it cheap enough that I know I can rebarrel it. and move it on down the road. I won't sell anything that don't shoot without letting them know it don't shoot. I'm like the rest of you there. You know, I got a
Sell
little
it as
bit of
an action,
reputation.
you know.
I've built so many, built them. I've had built so many guns over the years. It's ridiculous. And some of the best shooting guns in the country. And people ask me, so why in the world would you sell that? To me, it's a tool. The fun part to me is building the damn things. You know, getting them built, you know, buying a barrel, buying an action, sending it somewhere to somebody who knows what they're doing and have them chamber it, send it back to me, then I'll bet it. Usually, you know, I've got a little lathe I make pillars on and stuff, so I can pillar bed them. But I just love fooling with them. I love the mechanics of them, even. I just love messing with them.
Well, Mike, we'll end it up with you.
So I won't fiddle with stuff really to try to make it shoot. Like I said, with that 17 HMR, I moved it along. The only other rifle, and I was just thinking about it, that I had that, and it wasn't that it wouldn't shoot. I would kind of classify this rifle as sort of like what everybody talks about with the Springfield 2020s, and that was my Savage B22 Precision. You know, I had high hopes for that rifle when I first bought it, that it was going to do all this amazing stuff, and it didn't. The budget the budget Mark II at the time would outshoot that aluminum chassis A22 Precision all day and night long. And the whole reason the one screw budget Mark II turned into the one screw budget Mark II is I had a couple cocktails and thought maybe I could take the action screw studs out of my Mark II and then change the position on them to get them where they would fit in that aluminum chassis that the B22 Precision came in, and then have something that would shoot. And I broke the action screw or the action stud off of the front of that one. But anyhow, point I'm trying to make is that's the only other rifle I ever had. And I sold that one. I sold that one to someone that bought it off of my website, and I sent it to them, full knowing that, look, there's all kinds of videos of me shooting it, ammo testing it. This is about what you're going to get. You're going to get a minute of angle, rifles, what you're going to get. So you're not going to get any more than that out of a Savage B22 Precision. So,
Mike, I got a question for you. Are you recommending, if you can't get a gun shoot, to break off an action screw? Is that what you're really saying?
Well, the gun shot before I did that, but it shoots even better with the duct tape and missing action screw now. And when I'm really feeling frosty, I put this barrel tuner that I picked up. It's a little lopsided, and you got to make sure you keep it tight. But if I put that on there, and you might just want to be watching, crossing your T's and dotting your I's, at the end of next month here when that thing rolls into Kentucky. So, it's coming.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
That's good. Scavenge is waiting on it.
Well, we might have to run for some pink slips or something.
Oh.
Well,
Chad don't want your rifle, Mike.
No, I don't want your rifle.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
All right. Well, let's go around the road. Mike, what you got coming up on your channel, buddy?
Tomorrow or the next day, I can't remember when I got it set up for, but there'll be another 40X video dropping pretty soon here. Now that I put the iron sights back on it, took the scope off, and this week I'm going to try to get to the range and shoot a few more videos. I pulled the Redfield off the Supermatch 54, and I'm going to shoot some different iron sight targets with that. I've got to get back out with the weather holds up here and do some more iron sight shooting with the Mark to the Make Iron Sights Great Again Mark II FVT, and start showcasing that a little bit again here. But that's pretty much what's I've got going on. No matches coming up anytime soon. There was one that I thought was going on Sunday, which is part of why I took tomorrow off. But they changed the date of the match to tomorrow, and I'm not ready for it. I was going to actually take the one screw, or not the one screw. I was going to take the Mark II FVT, the Make Iron Sights Great Again. I was going to take that to an NRL match and shoot an NRL match with Iron Sights. Was my plan for Sunday, because I know I can do it. I'm not going to hit those 1/2 and 1/4 inch targets, but I'll hit those 2 and 3 inch targets with that thing. So
It'll be cool.
yeah.
Well, George, what you got coming up?
Just trying to get ready for the April match. That's about it. Got a lot of nothing coming up. What about the damn? What about centerfire shoot you was talking about? What's up with that at the meet?
Well, last year, me and Hasbro shot centerfires against each other at 100 yards. So we probably will have a little 100-yard centerfire shoot if you want it. I know you got something for it.
Yeah, Chad's got a 6.5 Creedmoor. It's no slouch. I got lucky.
Well, we done hunting rifles or target rifles or both or?
Yeah.
Just so it's centerfire, George. It's all that matters.
Centerfire, but it don't matter. Justin got that 6 PPC.
I got a PPC barrel for that Panda.
Yep.
Where I got 6 BRs or
I messed up there. I should have held on to that rifle until after April, but
Yeah, I'm ready for the centerfire match.
yeah.
Does Ballard make a 6 PPC? Just curious.
Ballard.
Not that I know.
Dave.
No, but he's got a Parker and Hale he bring.
I'm gonna bring the Parker Hale.
Still gonna do Iron Sights in
What's that?
Kentucky.
Yes, sir. Just because you're coming, we're doing Iron Sights.
Okay, have you got a target or a thought around that yet, or anything? Or
Yeah, we're going to get them right off of MN Shooting Sports.
okay,
Well, we're
All right,
shooting the
explain my cards.
A23-5.
Two lanes.
Get
No,
a big one so I can hit it.
Actually,
I'm gonna put the sights on the 82G.
Actually, this is the iron sight target that we use at 50 yards.
Okay,
A23-5.
Yeah,
All right.
you can get those on the American Target Company, the A23/5. But yeah, George, bring a centerfire.
I'll do it.
And a martini.
Martini,
52 if you got them.
52,
And shorts if you got it.
and shoots.
Savage.
Bring that 82G with iron sights. So
He's going to
just
cut
shoot
you
it.
for trying to bring a Savage.
I'm gonna have 1,000 pounds of rifle again.
Me and George set the Savage match out.
Yeah. George and Justin will have to be referees on the Savage match.
Mhm.
They'll be ROs. All right, Steve or Justin. No, Justin. Justin, what you got coming up?
We're going to a match in the morning with Chad, so we'll see how that goes. Just try to stay out of last place.
We're going to make a trip over to Mount Sterling, Kentucky and shoot ABRA tomorrow.
Lucky you.
Cool beans.
I was going to go to Louisville tomorrow and shoot ABRA, but their start time is at 9 o'clock, and I'd have to left at 4 in the morning to get to Louisville and get there and get registered. But another guy called me and said, "Hey, we're shooting ABRA in Mount Sterling tomorrow, and it starts at 1." And I was like, "That's much better." So we're going over there. Well, Steve, what you got coming up, buddy?
Well, like I say, we went out and shot today, even in the wind, and shot several different challenges. Shot Hasbro and Day at the Range and Tommy 22s, hold 'em or fold 'em. So I'll have a video coming out with that. Shot the 4 cards for UBR Rimfire for George, and I'll have a video coming out for that. And then several attempts at the Make Iron Sights Great Again aperture sight target with a couple of John's rifles that he had. And I think now, Mike, after you shot that Stevens pistol, I'm going to have to find me a North American Arms 22 revolver and try that with it. But,
Yeah, I've got a whatever the heck it is, Ruger something 6-shooter 22 that's got really good sights on it. That I'm thinking I might go out there and do it again too, because I prodded Elijah there a little bit in that video, and he spoke up a little bit, and then there's some private text messages that went back and forth around it too. I'm like, well, you're afraid. You always talk about doing it, but you don't ever get out here and do it. So
I've got one of those Ruger single 6s. I may have to drag it out and give that a try.
Yep, that's what it is. Yep, the single 6. Yep.
But yeah,
Good pistols.
They are. But several videos coming out.
That was a lot of fun shooting that. I'm glad you guys did that, because I would have never in a million years tried to shoot a pistol at 50 yards. But when you guys did it, I was like, why not?
Why not? So. Yeah. Actually, it's John's idea. He tried it first, and I thought, well, I've got to give it a shot too. So,
Rustic Rimfire's calling you boys out over there. He says he's got a BSA Sportsman 15 that he'll put against any Iron Sight 22 out there.
Ooh, boy, that's saying a lot.
Well, I figure Boomstick ought to be jumping in here any minute, because he's got one of those like 24-inch, Heritage revolver, I think 22s or something like that, where the barrel's halfway to the target,
Yep. So, where was we, Steve?
Got me.
We're going to Dave.
Going to Dave.
It's supposed to be 40 tomorrow and windy and rain all day. The next warm day is next Thursday or Wednesday is supposed to get to 44. So I'll just be groundhogging it for the next week. I'll try to bet a couple rifles.
Can y'all tell Dave's upset? He hasn't been to the gun range in months.
Look at my finger. It won't even move.
You got a BB gun now. You can keep it warmed up.
I do.
If that finger doesn't work well, you don't need Big Red, right?
You know what? It may be for sale next year. I'm going to do a big new gun this year.
Oh, really? We got to hear about that.
You wouldn't hear for the pre-show. He's also working on an Anschutz Benchrest that he's going to bring down to Kentucky in April.
Cool.
There we go.
Dave's been cooped up. He ain't been getting to shoot. But he's got him a new Tom Palmer BB gun.
I do.
And he loves it.
I do.
Awesome.
He blew his own mind with the group that he shot today. So, Jose, what you got coming up?
Yes, sir. Monday, 7:30 p.m. If you're not busy, stop by at the J Delta 22NC. We are shooting the Bergara B14R and some Ely high velocity hollow point.
So,
yes. And then at the Smoking 22 on Tuesday, premiere, we're shooting Wally's new Voodoo built. Shooting at a UBR target. So stop by there too, 7:30 Tuesday if you're not busy. Thank you for having me tonight.
Hasbro wants to see Dave mount a Unerdle on his Tom Palmer BB gun.
The scope will be longer than the barrel.
Rumor has it he's looking for another 499B so he can hop it up himself. So,
yep, no rumor. That's true.
But Hasbro, what you got coming up, buddy?
Well, something that looks like this.
That's
Tomorrow
it.
comes out a
Show's
video.
over. Say good night, everybody.
Yeah, good night, all. What was that? I'm sorry. I guess I hit the wrong button. No, I'm going to release a video tomorrow, which is the shoot we shot last week, and it's a really long video. It's 30 minutes long, but it's literally play-by-play with the CZ on every round fired. And if you have a high enough definition, I did it on a big screen TV in 4K, but really a computer, you can actually see all the wind flags, and you can see what was going on. And just because I was there, I find it fascinating. Maybe nobody else will, I don't know. But when you see what's going on and trying to wait on the wind and then unsuccessfully doing it several times, it's a lot of fun. Anyway, that's what's coming out, and I should be back in town and getting ready for a hide shoot, and then the shoot at Kentucky Rimfire and Hobbies home place. As long as this baby works out in between. I got a third grandchild coming. So, that
I
could
already
interfere
seen the
with
video, folks. It's pretty boring. I mean, no, Hasbro come down here and well, he set the high score in UBR for 2026. Right now, he's on top until somebody else passes him up.
6 days in a row.
Yeah. So that's one of the good things about shooting it first is we get to be in the first positions for just a short period of time. But George,
And number one in club points.
Yeah, Hasbro's national.
Yeah.
Number one national.
I'm number 2 in 2 classes.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true. He shot really well.
But that's all going to change because George is getting ready to shoot it on the 4th.
Yeah.
That's right. So all you suckers are going to be last.
We'll pass Hasbro up. Me and Chad's gonna shoot it.
Oh, here you go.
No, we're going to be down there to hold our position.
Yeah, we'll see.
It'll change in April again.
We got Darwin's got a new rig. He's getting together for it. So
Yeah, Darwin got me in the custom class last time, but I also made a boo-boo and switched up my ammo and got mixed up. So
yeah, I've heard that shit before.
We might take it.
well, now I won one class when I was down there, George.
Well, there was only one person shooting in it.
Yeah, that's not true.
We'll leave that part out, don't we, Chad?
Two of us.
Yeah, we're gonna take it down with a Savage. It's going down.
That has happened before.
That's the best part of us shooting, guys. The camaraderie and the ribbing each other. That's the best part of it. So,
yeah, it is.
anyways, between weather and me feeling like crap the last week because of sinuses and allergies, I have gotten way behind on videos. I usually keep videos queued ahead, but now this winter I didn't get out and shoot in the cold like Mike and them does. I tried to pre-schedule stuff, and I'm out. So I don't even have a video for Sunday. And I was going to go in the morning and make some videos, but me and Justin decided we didn't want to pass this ABRA match up tomorrow, so we're going to go do that. And then Sunday, I'll go to the range and make some videos. But for Sunday morning, I do have a video dropping. It's not Rimfire. It's 22, but it's actually a new pellet rifle I got. And it actually might just keep up with some of these Rimfires. It blows my mind at how well this rifle shoots. So, but I thought that I would go ahead and throw that out on my main channel and give you guys just a taste of what I'm doing over on my secondary channel. And maybe some people will want to come over and check that out and join that channel too. Subscribe anyway. And, but that's what you're getting Sunday morning is a pellet gun video until I can get some more made. I apologize if that's not what you like, but that's what I got for this week. And
Does the
So y'all
sound move
come
with
back,
your mouth in these ones?
huh?
Does the sound move with your mouth?
Yeah, I got the whole microphone situation figured out. Yeah.
Okay. God, I was getting tired of watching the 1970s kung fu movies.
Kung Fu
Yeah,
movies.
I was getting ready to say,
He
yeah.
say, what?
Cool.
What do you give my teacher?
So, but anyways, we're gonna get out there Sunday and make some videos and probably spend some time with this 2020 over here of Kevin's, and so we can see what we think about that and get it back to him. And
Hey, Chad,
yeah,
if you need some content to drop Sunday, I bet Hasbro will share that 30-minute video with you, put over on your channel.
He'll collab with it.
I
Collab,
could
yeah.
probably edit out 25 minutes of it and be good.
I'd rather spare my viewers, Steve. I just
What was that again? I'm sorry, I lost it.
so hey guys, I'll tell you what, I separated the air guns from the rimfire because I know that I got a lot of Benchrest shooters following me and they don't want to see the air gun thing. But I'm telling you what, these PCP rifles, they're accurate. They are. I'm only shooting them at 30 yards, but daggone, they're accurate. And Dave can tell you the 499Bs, they're accurate, ain't they?
They are.
They're accurate.
They are.
But you
Yes,
know what
sir.
all that BB gun stuff is? That's trigger time for Chad. And
Oh,
I can go out in the backyard and shoot a PCP and my finger won't end up like Dave's. And so anyways, I'm enjoying them. They shoot good, but they're just like a rimfire. You got to chase down the right pellet for the gun. They're all different. So anyways,
Same thing.
great show tonight. Appreciate everybody in the side chat. Appreciate everybody being here on the panel. Really glad Minnesota Mike made it back with us this week.
see you, Mike.
Glad to have you back, buddy. Still waiting on a Stevens episode to finish up our vintage rifles. So
Yeah, we'll get around to that.
I'm looking forward to that.
Justin messaged me this morning. He's got some other ideas for some topics. So we still got good stuff coming for you guys here on Let's Talk Benchrest. So y'all come back next Friday and see us. Say good night, everybody.
Good night. We leave the
Good
light
night,
on.
everybody.
Here.